robust urban garlic flavor.
Phil Burnell is like a guy that you tell like 100 times not to go to a specific part of a forest because it has a bear trap in it. And he's like, no, that can't be it. There's no way there's a bear trap there. Then he gets stuck in it. Then he screams and bitches for like 10 hours. And when you go and help him, he blames you for getting him into that trouble. So yesterday we got a doozy as he actually invited ReviewTechUSA onto his level 1 Dentcast. For whatever reason, he called it the level 666 podcast because in his delusions of grandeur, or, grandeur as he would say it, he thought that ReviewTechUSA was going to be his friend and help team up against the casino. But Phil had one big miscalculation. ReviewTechUSA is not as fucking dumb as Darich. And it really shows you what he thinks. He thinks we're all as smart as Darich. Like, he thinks he's a fucking genius and the rest of us are just like dense. Because he just has this whole stupid fantasy of him like, oh, I'll set this up. I just have to not look like a fucking idiot. So I'm going to pretend that I planned all this, and it's like, we have all the receipts. You're a fucking idiot, Phil. Like, for 8 months, you've been a complete tool. We find out that you were the one who initiated contact, which is really fucking stupid, because, like, any simpleton can realize that they were just a bunch of people that would just chew you up and spit you out like they did with ReviewTechUSA. It's like, they don't care. They're going to use you for content. And he's like, oh, they're making fun of Rich, so they must be my friends. Because he's thinking my enemy is my friend. And he's that simple-minded that he doesn't get any fucking nuance that he's going to fall headfirst right into this. He thinks the exact same thing with ReviewTechUSA was going to happen. He thought that ReviewTechUSA was going to bail him out. But no, he's just going to make him look like a fucking clown. Because you really don't have to do anything to make DSP look like a clown, because DSP is a clown. He's a joke. And Rich wanted to talk to him about stuff that was actually interesting, that, the 1,000 people who would come to his stream that don't normally come would want to see an interaction between Rich and Phil, because that could have been interesting. But Phil wanted to control everything like the control freak he is, because he's an idiot. He's like, you want to read these DMs I leaked today that are going to get leaked Friday, I'm going to get roasted on? It's going to show that I'm smarter than everybody else. It's going to vindicate me. It's like, no, it's these boring text chains that nobody's going to fucking care about. And you're going to get exposed on Friday and roasted like the idiot you are. And we see that you're just a fucking idiot who won't even entertain the fact that you did something wrong or you made a social faux pas. And it's like, we all make mistakes and we try to grow from those mistakes. Phil does not have that capacity whatsoever. He's an idiot. He's always going to be an idiot. He's going to be set in his ways. And it's like, you hear the story of the guy who, anytime somebody gets friendly with him, he believes everything that person says and falls hook, line, and sinker every single fucking time. No, it's not Chris Chan this time. It's DSP. DSP is the new Chris Chan.
Happy birthday, Ryan. Happy birthday, Ryan Wren. Oh my goodness, pardon me.
As crazy as it sounds, it's not a love quest, but it's a friend quest now. And Phil is ripe for the picking because he's a 42-year-old man who's socially isolated himself. And he's dumber than ever because he's not interacting with anybody. He doesn't know how to interact with anybody. And he's like, no, if you don't follow my delusions and you're my insane fantasy of bullshit, you're going to get banned. And he doesn't get that's not how you live in life or on the internet. And he's accumulated so many people that fucking hate him because he's just an e-beggar who thinks it's okay for him to e-beg, and he has to justify every single fucking day that he's an e-beggar. It's like he's a fucking televangelist. And he's like, oh, this is justified. Like, how did he grow up that he thinks that this is just completely acceptable? And it's like, no, he's just fucking greedy and he doesn't want to fucking change. So he's stuck in this rut and he has to continuously prove himself, but he doesn't get, once he admitted to champions, that it ticked some of his dents off that believed him, and they're like, nah, there's like 100,000 other people that are fucking streaming games, Phil. You're not the only person, you're not special, you're not a king, you're just a regular idiot in Washington that is asking for money. Like if you're gonna watch somebody that asks for money, you might as well watch somebody that's attractive.
Also, he needs to stop begging on stream. He can't go one day without begging.
I can stream without begging. Dumb shit. You fucking slut.
You have no entertainment value. You're not interesting. You're boring as fuck. You got fucking lucky that you uploaded in 2009, and it was either watch you or watch paint dry, and people chose you for like 3 years, and then you imploded, and you fail to comprehend why, day after day, that your content is Z tier, and everybody is fucking laughing at you like the joke you are. You're pathetic. You're going to get laughed off the internet. You may not leave until every dent is milked completely dry, but the proof is in the pudding. Like, we're all here for just to laugh at you, and that's fucking sad. You've brought nothing of value to the internet. The only thing you've done is jerked off on May 1st, and Frederick Knudsen made a documentary on you. Other than that, you've just been a cockroach. And it's like, we don't need you, Phil. We can move on to another locale. There's like 100 million of them. There's nothing positive, meaningful, or entertaining about anything about your content whatsoever. Nothing. Nada. So it's time for you to lay down the crown, lay down your stupid props, and go get a job that is not part of the internet. It's time to go. You're a complete joke. And it's like you can't drown your sorrows anymore in gin and tonic because it's over.
And in the last 5 minutes that you have wasted of everyone's time, you have reviewed more tech than you did in your entire decade on your own channel.
Okay, but that still doesn't take away from what I'm saying right now.
You are the master of bad timing and how to make things that are exciting incredibly fucking boring. Good God, man. Don't you understand?
How is it boring when I'm saying things like you?
Oh my God.
You
Dude,
said
aliens would be landing outside, and you would be talking about how your stove is malfunctioning. Like, what the
Phil,
fuck are you talking about?
Phil,
we are not
aliens would
here to talk about a microphone, you incredible buffoon. Could you stop for 5 seconds?
No.
And
Don't
just
get angry. I'm
stop
not angry.
wasting everyone's time so we can
Don't
actually
get
talk about the
angry.
subject matter.
I am not angry. You also talk. It's what I'm trying to tell you, Phil, is that you see why it's hard to
All
believe you. You also just recently said you can't have another Castlevania marathon. There's
Rich.
only 4 classic Castlevania games.
Rich,
Is that
We ha-
true, Phil?
we have several topics to choose from. All right, we do. I would like to let you choose a topic that we can delve into first. Okay, which topic would you like to delve into? We've got Mudahar. It's a Gundam, which is a nice one because apparently It's a Gundam was coming on their show on Friday, so you'd be interested to see what PPP has to say about him.
Shout out to It's a Gundam. He's my dude. Continue.
Medicare and how they basically ball suck this guy constantly and think that he's the end all be all of content. 2 entire folders of their incredibly awful ideas that I had to keep shutting down because they were so bad. PPP incredibly embarrassing himself because he actually thought that like we were like bosom buddies or possibly he's gay. I'm not sure. You know, we'd have to see there. And then basically how it fell apart. Also things that they said about Keemstar that I think you'll find pretty interesting. Or we could just look at the very few things that I talked about with Warski because we barely ever spoke. I'm telling you, like it was such minuscule stuff. Where would you like to begin?
Are any of those as embarrassing as when you pressure your audience to donate so your wife doesn't have to cook dinner?
Oh, they're actually way more embarrassing because I do that publicly as an act to entertain while these things were done behind the scenes in good confidence. So that's the difference.
All right, so you know what, Phil? Show me something, man. Show me. I want you to show me why you called Strangely Lex a slut too. When I show more skin as a matter. I show more skin than she.
That's not in here because that just happened recently. We didn't even talk about that behind the scenes. We only talked about that on the show. So what you've seen there on smart guys.
There's
is what
nothing
you
to
get.
see.
There was nothing behind the scenes to talk about.
That was just you being salty, but okay.
So what would you like to talk about here? Or should I just pick one? By the way, for the record, everyone's telling me to just dump you from the show because you've already derailed it so poorly, and they just want me to do this for myself. But I'm keeping you on here out of good faith. So what would you like to do?
Phil, you have over 1,300 viewers right now. I'm not seeing, the only one seeing is maybe because a couple people who want Ethan Ralph to come on, but no one's saying to dump me from the show. This is the most viewership. Like, you would need to do like 6 streams to get this much viewership.